Hello everybody, this is Lara from pureelliotwave.com with a free analysis for you today. Before I jump into it, it's VeChain. Before I get there, if you haven't already downloaded this, I've got a free ebook you can get from my website. It's some technical analysis basics, so if you're new to technical analysis, this is a good introduction. The contents, a little bit of information about trends, some volume stuff. I give you a high probability trade setup, and I look at some channels and a few other things. So if you want to get your hands on that, it's really easy and it's free. Thank you so much for everyone who voted and told me which markets you want me to analyse. So I'm going to be spending my time giving you content that more people are looking for. So that's more efficient for me and better for you. So I'm doing VeChain today, and then we'll be looking at Stellar, and then I'll be looking at XDC Network, BPro, Ethereum and natural gas. I've updated my data. Crypto Compare doesn't have VeChain in their feed, so I'm still using Yahoo Finance data for VeChain. It's gone lower since I last analysed it, which was back in, I think I analysed it back here in September. So this is how I'd adjust my wave count. It hasn't invalidated. The invalidation point's just so far away though as to be absolutely useless. I would put this here and I'd see minor wave B, or no, it has to be over here. Minor B has to be over here. So I don't know what this could be. This could be a double flat possibly. Minute W could be an expanded flat. And I'm just checking that C's moved beyond the end of A. No, it hasn't. So I wonder if this could actually be an expanding triangle. No, it can't be an expanding triangle. Could it be a contracting triangle? Doesn't look like a very good triangle at all. Okay, C hasn't moved beyond the end of A. I don't think the triangle trend lines are really going to have a good contraction. Okay, this meets Elliott wave rules. Oh, I think I'd want to put D down here. But the triangle trend lines aren't really converging very well, so it doesn't look ideal, but it certainly meets Elliott wave rules. D hasn't moved beyond the end of B, C hasn't moved beyond the end of A, and E hasn't moved beyond the end of C. So it fits the rules for a running contracting triangle, or possibly even a running barrier triangle, although I think the BD trend line does have a fairly obvious slight upward slope. Okay, that works. So that would be my main wave count for VeChain, but I would have to acknowledge the possibility that minor wave C of intermediate Y could go lower. Do we have any evidence of a low in place for this last week beginning 20th of November? Let's have a look at classic analysis for that. So there was previous support which was 0.020781, and that's been broken through at the weekly chart level, and now the last completed week is a dragonfly doji. This is a bullish candlestick reversal pattern. I'm going to put that down there. So this candlestick here, let's expand it out to have a look at it. This one here is a dragonfly doji. It's a downward week. It doesn't have push from volume. Volume declined on that downward week. That's actually what we'd want to see for downward movement. So a little bit of weakness and volume at the end and a bullish candlestick reversal pattern. In order to have confidence with this though, I would really want to see a strong bullish candlestick for the current week, which has only just begun. We're only on Tuesday. So there's a potential, well, there is a bullish reversal pattern at last week's low, but I'd want to see some follow through because it's not one of the stronger bullish candlestick patterns. Upward volume in this week was really strong, so the recent volume profile bearish up toward the high and bullish in more recent weeks. On balance volume, not making lows with price. So the close on this week, 0.01895, and the close back here on this week, 0.04. Price is closed lower, but on balance volume hasn't. So on balance volume is showing some bullish divergence. ADX tells us there's a downward trend in a relatively early stage, a very long way to go before that downward trend gets extreme, so it's not in danger territory yet. RSI is exhibiting some bullish divergence, but I would rather wait to see a swing low develop. So I'd want to see at least 1 or 2 upward weeks off this low of last week to see a swing low develop around here before I then considered divergence between price and RSI. Likewise with on balance volume actually, and I would always give more weight to any divergence between price and RSI. Strong divergence so far with price and money flow index, but again we need to see that pivot or swing low develop before we can really give weight to that divergence, because sometimes it occurs and yet price just continues on down and then the divergence just disappears. It's a little bit more reliable if you wait for those pivots to form before comparing the 2 points in price in your indicator. ATR declining as price gets continually lower, so it's slowing down. There's weakness in this bear market. And stochastics is oversold, but ADX tells us the market's trending, so we use RSI, not stochastics. Let's look at the daily. Okay, at the daily chart level, here's a bullish candlestick reversal pattern. This is a bullish engulfing pattern. And then you could actually almost consider these four together making a morning star candlestick pattern with 2 stars rather than just one. But this one here at least is an engulfing pattern. And it has a bullish long lower wick, not long enough for it to be a hammer. The bullish engulfing candlestick pattern does not have support from volume though. So we cannot have confidence in it, so that's weak. So there's not enough evidence of a low in place yet. On balance volume at the daily chart level is making new lows with price, but if we go back further, there's some longer term bullish divergence. And this pivot has formed, so we can take note of this pivot. The close on this session, 0.017747, and the close way back here, 0.023787, so price is closed reasonably lower and on balance volume is reasonably higher, and that's after a pivot formed. So yes, there is bullish divergence between price and on balance volume that can be relied upon as most likely, not certainly, most likely to be indicative of, if not a low in place here, then coming up sooner rather than later. ADX is declining. There's no clear trend at the daily chart level at this time. RSI also exhibiting some long-term bullish divergence now after reaching oversold at the daily chart level. The close back here, 0.027614, and the close here at that last little pivot low, 0.017526, definitely clear bullish divergence. That can develop further though before price finds a low. It was evident back here, and yet price moved to lower lows. The close here 0.024 and the close here 0.027. So here there was bullish divergence between price and money flow index and price and RSI, and yet price has made lower lows. So that's what I mean by saying that divergence can develop even further before the downward trend comes to an end. ATR currently declining as price is moving very slowly lower. So there's again weakness in downward movement, and stochastics neutral. I do not think there is as yet enough strong technical evidence that a low has formed for VeChain for confidence. I think it is entirely possible that -C is incomplete and it could continue lower.